This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
Behind the closely guarded walls of this mansion on Srinagar's Gupkar Road, 3 generations of the Abdullah family, adored by some and bitterly criticized by others. Amongst them, the youngest political face, Omar Abdullah, 13-month MP, is just getting ready to start his day, getting ready to face an election that could be the first real test of whether his political career will go beyond being the Chief Minister's son.
पढ़ना या खेलना है चलो आइए Hi, morning.
Hi,
How are you?
morning. Did we wake you up?
No,
Huh?
he did. Aaj Zamir here.
Whose birthday is it today?
The little one. Here, come on. We'll read our book together. Okay. Yeah. Cool. It's not nearly as busy as other politicians who campaign. I think because of the inherent security situation here, we have much less in the form of public meetings and campaign trips. Where in the rest of the country, I guess, I still remember a month ago reading a comment by some other candidate from South India who said that, okay, for the next month or so, I'll have to forget what it's like to sleep, which fortunately hasn't been the case here. One still gets as much of a night's sleep as the kids will allow. Yes, baby. Hen? We don't have any hens, Amir. We have ajas, but there are ajas up there.
So what's an aja?
An aja is Zamir's version of a bird, other than a hen. Any bird other than a hen is an aja. I mean, it comes from when he was in Bombay. He used to call pigeons by saying aja. So after that, anything is an aja. Where are the ajas? Jao, dhundo. Acha, isme? Kahan hai isme aja? Where's the farm?
So was it sort of a difficult decision for you to really get into politics? Was it something that you thought you would choose?
Well, it was something
for
that people always told me I would choose for myself. I kept denying it. Now, whether I really meant the denials or not, I don't know. I always convinced myself I wanted to be a pilot. I desperately wanted to fly, and I can see the same thing with my son. At the sight of a jahaz and he's up and running. I tried my hand at a 9-to-5 office job. It wasn't my cup of tea. I think in Delhi I worked for initially the Oberoi Group and then ITC. But somehow this line of work held a fascination for me.
You sort of must hear all the time that your political identity is linked to being Farooq Abdullah's son.
That's bound to happen. I'm as much fighting this election on my own performance. I think less on my performance, more on the performance of my father's government. Because one, of the party that I belong to, and two, also because of whose son I am. He's quite a Sit down.
Spending the morning with the Abdullah household, watching Omar Abdullah play with his 2 little children, or standing here listening to the Dire Straits music coming out of the house, all create the impression of a somewhat reluctant politician, a little removed from the rough and tumble of election rallies. But Omar fights charges that he is not rooted in the politics and culture of the state.
I can't even choose my music. Now, If they had their way, I'd be listening to, I don't know what. I'll have to ask them what they want me to listen to. Because even apparently Hindi film music is yuppie and puppy and whatever else they want to call it.
Omar Abdullah won from the predominantly Sunni constituency of Srinagar by a margin of over 1 lakh votes the last time. One of the reasons the constituency of Srinagar is being viewed with a high degree of interest this time around is because Omar's main political opponent is also the offspring of a famous father and a seasoned politician, Mehbooba Mufti, the daughter of Mufti Muhammad Saeed. The conflict between the two seems rather intense. Mehbooba Mufti has described Omar as the son of the king of Jammu and Kashmir, calling her own family a family of strugglers.
And what about her?
Well,
Where has she been all her life? Except for after she became an MLA, what has she done before that? The pampered son, I mean, she lives in huge bungalows. Her father was a union minister. She must have lived with him in Delhi. I doubt whether Mehbooba Mufti has ever wanted for anything in her life. I can understand if she lived in a small shack in a village. Then yes, compared to her, I would have been the pampered son of a king.
यहाँ पे गरीब कश्मीर के गरीब आवाम को वादा किया गया था आजादी का, कहा था कि आप बंदूक उठाओ, हम 10 दिन के अंदर अंदर आजादी लाएंगे। यहाँ पे राजभवन पे पाकिस्तान का झंडा लहराएगा। मैं उनसे पूछना चाहूंगा, वो यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान की बात करते हैं। 50 साल हो गए पाकिस्तान बने, आज तक जो लोग हिंदुस्तान से पाकिस्तान गए उन्हें मुजाहिर बुलाया जाता है, उन्हें पाकिस्तानी नहीं बुलाया जाता, उन्हें अलग किया जाता है लोगों से, मुजाहिर बुलाते हैं। कश्मीर के मसले को 50 साल हुए, बड़े से बड़े लीडर कश्मीर, नारे तकबीर, जम्मू कश्मीर नेशनल
There's a lot of talk of how the state is completely bankrupt and it doesn't have money, and that's the biggest issue. But don't you think that the ruling party has to take some accountability for that, for the management of the money that came in?
Well, you have to have money to manage it in the first place. For the first 2 years, by the grace of God, the state government was doing well. We had the money, we were spending it on development works, we employed people. If by the question that you're asking, I can only assume that you're basing it on what everybody else is saying, that there's been complete financial mismanagement, money has been spent on helicopters and planes and doing up people's houses and things like that. For one, the plane was bought 3 years ago. It is cheaper for the Chief Minister to fly on that plane than it is for him to take his entire entourage on a commercial flight. Allegations are being made about misusing money to do up houses and things like that. What has to be seen is the amount of work that's actually been done. Come, let's have lunch.